Wow, I didn't know this place was wheelchair accessible. That's what you
Jesus.
get for yanking my shit. Yanking my shit. Um,
Great.
so who the hell are you though?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you.
I
Hi.
don't know what kind of question that is. Who
Wow.
am I?
The first
Welcome to
question.
Meow Talk.
The first question.
Well, that's such an open-ended question. I thought there was gonna be more structure to this. Well,
First
who
off,
am I? I'm a 6'6" American male, Caucasian. Um, I was born and raised in right outside of the New York City area, in a suburb. Um, I lived there for a while. I moved to Cali. I lived in South America. I traveled around the country for work. And now I live in Miami.
All right, and the biggest question is, who the fuck are you? You gave me all about you, but you didn't tell me who you are.
yeah, agreed.
Who who am I?
Who are
Okay.
you?
Um, so wow, that is, that's a deep question.
Well,
Who
we've
Say
am
your
all
I?
name, idiot.
Oh, my name? Oh, my name is Scott, also known as Scoot, also known as the guy in the wheelchair, also known as a noob, also known as this fucking guy.
the guy that gets us banned from places.
The, the
So
guy who, yes, gets you guys all banned.
so, and how long have you been around, man?
Um,
Oh God.
on this planet or in the
Well,
CC?
we're all made from the same material as the universe, so we've been around as long as the
Yeah,
universe.
exactly.
Let
Thank you. That's
me
exactly the line
let
that I
me
was
fix
going down.
that. Let me fix that for you before you get all introspective and philosophical. Now, how long have you been in this group, this cult?
Yeah. So it's been what, maybe 4 years now, three,
Jesus
4 years.
Christ.
Um, and I'll give you my origin story.
Yeah,
It's
you
a
love
story I
that.
love.
Yeah, yeah,
I
you
love this
love telling
story.
this story.
Yeah. So I was a broke noob. Doing my Slayer. I would just all I would do is just range and save spot Slayer. Like that's all I would do. With a crossbow, I had no idea what a magic short bow was. Super inefficient, broke as fuck. And so I was running to do my Turoth task, a shit task. I was running by, going through the Fremnic Slayer dungeon, and I see Navi, and he's just doing his Slayer, killing jellies with a blowpipe, and he's not using an Ava's device. So he's literally just leaving rune darts all over the fucking place, like literally all over. I'm like, hey, bro, can I take these? He's like, yeah, sure, man. No problem. So I just stopped dead in my tracks on my Slayer task and just stood there for 40 minutes, just looting all of these rune darts, like making hella money. And I'm like, bro, why aren't you using an Ava? He's like, oh, well, like Ava doesn't work with a blowpipe, so I don't need it. So, as many of you guys probably know, is that um, it does in fact work with a blowpipe, and he was just wasting money. But hey, I mean, he invited me to join the clan, and I was like, oh, this guy has free money. I am down, and
And
that's how I
then
joined.
and then you got stuck spending all your own money for old school
Yeah,
recruiting techniques.
yeah.
So
Well, now,
I
yeah,
invested
exactly.
in you and you fell right for it.
Yeah, yeah, dude. Now it's the tables have turned, and so I was like just a noob in the CC, and like I guess somehow I built Nappy's trust, and he's like, all right, like
Big
you
mistake on
are
my
going to be
part.
in charge of recruiting. He's like, here's 1 mil, take it, you know, go get a bunch of noobs and free to play, bring them all to somewhere, and just do a drop party and get them to join the CC. And so I did that a bunch, and I guess Navi noticed me, and he gave me a gold star and put me in charge of recruiting. So that's how I got my gold star, and yeah,
Boy, I made a lot of mistakes back then. When we
yeah,
were
you should have went for somebody else.
I should have. I should have gone with someone who wouldn't get us personally banned from other things.
Yeah, yeah. I was salty. That's a different story. But
That's a fun one. We'll get to that. But there was something we were talking about in the sound check. And personally, I think it's a great direction to go.
Sure.
Which one? Which
Yeah,
which question?
Come on, guys. Come on. I'm not going to. It's not that bad. No. You were talking about some quotes from your mentor there, man. I just wanted to give you a chance to elaborate on it because you were really passionate about it.
Yeah. So, which one should I do? Should I just go for both of them or one of them? Which one
You
did
know
you like
what?
better?
Yeah, let's do both since Beer over here
Okay.
called you a Buddhist monk.
Okay. So, we're talking about like just some conflict that happened, and I brought up this quote that I like to live by, that a mentor once told me, and he said, um, "If you can't admit that you're part of the problem, then you can't be part of the solution." And that can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. But what that means to me is that, um, there's a lot of times in life where you say, "Oh, it wasn't my fault. I didn't, cause that. Someone else did it," which is okay, which is fine. But like, if you say that, then like you can't help solve the problem. So if you want to solve the problem, you have to figure out like how were you part of the problem? And it's true. Like, maybe somebody else did something that you were not involved with, but that doesn't mean that you weren't part of the problem. It's like what could you have said? What didn't you say? What should you have said differently? And you have to find out what part that you played in that conflict to actually find a solution. So,
And
like, yeah, please.
I was going to say, and how often do you use that in the admin style that you bring to the table? Because you bring a slightly different, well, I would say everyone I've chosen, everyone I've promoted brings a different style. Now we don't have me making that choice too often, which is easier on me. But overall, everyone brings a different style. I try not to have no two people who are exactly alike.
Yeah, I mean that's a good question. And so I mean I think anyone that's interacted with me has kind of seen me bring that same mentality to every problem. Um, not many, not everyone thinks the same, and not many people might agree with the way that I think. But whenever something happens, I always kind of question, why did we do what we did? What could we have done better? Because yes, you know, someone might come in and spam and we might kick them, for example, or someone might be a troll, we might kick them. But, that's not solving a problem, right? That's just kind of getting rid of a problem. If we want to solve it, like what could we have said differently? Could we have, you know, spoken to them one on one? Could we have, explained to them why we don't think that they were acting in good faith? Like there's a lot of things we could have done besides just getting rid of the problem to help solve it. And it's very easy to say, oh no, that was them, that was their actions, that was them doing things, but that's, that won't solve anything. So like you really have to go and say, what could we have done better? And, I and I may ask people that, and some people don't like to think that way, some people will just think, oh, well, I don't want to deal with it, not my problem, get rid of it, okay, fine. But like I still think that it's very important to, to solve issues in the future by figuring out how we can do better. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. And then there was something else that sounds like you were interested there. What was the other one? I think
the
I might
other
have
one?
missed that when I ran to grab
Oh yeah.
something.
I was talking about the lens that you see life through.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. We both tend to agree with that one.
Yeah, so I'm a strong believer that like the lens that you see life through is the way that you're going to internalize things, right? So that means if you look for the good in life, you will internalize that good. You will be happier. You will see things as being better. And on the flip side, if you see the lens, if you use the lens of everything being bad, then you'll internalize everything as being bad. So like you'll be less happy. You'll see like the evil in things where there might not be. Because there's always good and bad in everything, right? But if you always look for the life lessons, the happiness, the learning experiences, then you're going to be a lot happier. And I know it's easier said than done for a lot of people, um, but it's definitely something that people should work towards. Um, like for example, I'll say like if you have like a dinner with somebody, right, and like it's going great the whole time, and then there's some kind of disparity with the check at the end, or like the food comes out a little bit poorly, um, and something happens where it wasn't great. Um, if you leave that thinking like, oh, the food wasn't great, but I still had a great time with that person, you'll internalize that and remember it as, okay, that was a great time. But if you internalize the, oh, there was this thing that went wrong, the waiter was bad, etc., then you'll internalize it negatively, and then when you look back on it in a year, you'll like the only thing that will resonate is those bad feelings. So there's really two ways to look at it, and I think that it's best to look for the good things because that's just going to improve the quality of life.
Yeah, well, I would say too, though, with something like that, man. I think you should follow if you're gonna use that a lot. I think you should follow it up with finding that ability to like
Hmm.
forgive and you don't necessarily got to forget, but the quicker you can like forgive something and just move past it, the better.
Exactly. I mean, like
Um,
you don't like I don't think that like you said, I don't think I mean, forgetting is probably not a good thing, but forgiving and understanding and learning is better because you can have a conflict with someone, which is a valid conflict. Like you don't want to forget it, but you can learn about you know what what your values are, what their values are, how they intertwine, how they conflict, and come to you know
well,
a
yeah,
nice
yeah.
like future. But like you don't want to forget learning experiences.
Well, that's why I say as they always say, forgive and forget. But the forgetting is where the learning is. If you forgive the stove for burning
Hmm.
you, but you don't learn the lesson that the
Hmm.
stove's hot, you know.
Exactly.
So like
Exactly.
I have a general rule. You can shoot me on a Saturday and we can have breakfast on a Sunday.
Hmm.
No matter what, even if like me and you have had our little back and forths, and no one, I guarantee no one knows any of the back and forths me and you have ever had,
Yeah.
because we
Of
have that
course.
sort of like philosophy of, one, you don't, we're both not, our trouble should be complete and utter public.
Hmm.
uh but we're also, and I think you follow that same line of shoot me on a Saturday and we'll have dinner on Sunday.
Yeah. Well, exactly. But like, it's because you know, at least from my point of view, like whatever you're thinking is valid. You're not coming to certain conclusions because you don't think they're right. Which means like, we could have a conflict, but it's because what you think you're doing is right, and what I'm thinking I'm doing is right, and they might not agree with each other, but that doesn't mean I don't like you as a person. It doesn't mean that, like
Yeah.
you know like it's like, so like, yeah, we can get into an argument on Saturday, but like on Sunday it's like, okay, like we had a disagreement in terms of ideas, not in terms of character.
Yeah, yeah, and there's definitely, growth is in that getting past it and figuring out, and then from there you can completely hit a point of once you get past it, once you figure out where the miscommunication is, you can be a completely and
Hmm.
utterly stronger relationship. You know,
Absolutely.
completely and utterly. I mean, we've both had our disagreements, and yet neither of us have just gone, let's just close up shop and whatever, screw you. We've never had that
Hmm.
situation. A lot of
Exactly.
groups like this fall apart because of that.
Well, it's actually interesting that you bring up the word groups. So I've done a lot of leadership training, and I've done a lot of group development. And so there's something called the stages of group development. Um, it's a storming. Oh, sorry, it's norming. Sorry, forming, storming, norming, conforming. No. Yes. Okay. Cool. You can look it up. Which I probably mixed it up a little bit, but the main
So,
idea is that there's a storming phase for any group, right? Um, and that means like there's going to be arguing, there's going to be disagreements, right? Which is perfectly natural, right?
oh yeah, it's
But
healthy, I would
but
say
but but
almost.
it's healthy because what's the thing is it's how it's being fostered is what is the biggest thing. So groups can fall apart if there's not good structure, around the storming phase. But what's beneficial about the storming phase is, it's like you can argue, but then once you move past that, it's then you can feel comfortable to speak your mind. You can
Yeah.
feel comfortable to say what you need to say without without being afraid that like you're gonna be ridiculed or pushed aside or not treated respectfully. So I think it's important for groups to to storm to move past that to realize that everyone's voices are heard. Yeah.
Yeah, no, completely agree, man. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, we've held together this for we're nearing 5 years, really, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Long ass time.
yeah. What's the fifth wedding anniversary? What's that? I think Trace might know.
Fuck if I know.
Why the fuck would I know?
I can't I can't even remember 3 years ago.
Yeah, I agree. There's something. There's like a list of gifts you get each one. Whatever. I can't wait
Alexa,
to see what
cancel.
Scoot doesn't get me.
I'll tell you. I'll give you a hint. It rhymes with something.
Oh yeah. Jeez.
Fifth anniversary gift is what is the
Divorce
fifth anniversary
papers.
gift? Wood.
What?
Oh yeah. Navi's got some wood.
You want me to give you some wood?
I'll take some wood, bro. As long
Oh,
as you
man.
can take wood too.
Oh man, but we talked. There's not a lot.
Alrighty.
I think with that, maybe let's get into some of these troll questions everyone asked. I
Oh,
think Trace has
yeah,
a
so-
whole notebook of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The first one's coming to you from Dry. So Dry says, and I hope I say this correctly. Why do you do the thing that why are you
Oh my
thinking of doing it because of why?
God. What the fuck is wrong
This
with
is-
that sentence?
This is a great question. I love the way it's worded. It means a lot to me. And good job, Trace.
Does it really mean a lot to
and
you? Because
speaking
it's
that.
just quoting you saying why.
Yeah. So exactly. And I'm going to it's a very very easy response to it. And the answer is because fuck you.
That is our motto. Because fuck you. That's why.
All right. Next, from Pickle Booty.
So
All right. So fast, Scoot. Why are you not impeached yet?
Yeah, why aren't you in that peach? What are you getting that peach and getting in it?
because Navi is a fucking weirdo and
No,
who knows what
oh.
he's fucking talking about right now.
Everyone knows. If I say impeach Scoot, everyone knows. Come on. I even made an image.
It's just funny how like sheeple people are.
Aww.
Navi just pulls up some stupid shit and then like everybody just follows along. A la Scoot has no legs.
Hey, Allah, Scoot has no legs. I just want you to remember, everyone just follows along. You're like the 8th person to be on Nevi's podcast. Also, I'm quite a follower because now I have a podcast. That's weird. Not everyone
We're all
needs a
followers in certain
podcast.
ways.
Yeah, I mean, who's really leading anything? Nothing new under
The
the sun.
Illuminati.
Not even them. Nothing new under the sun, man. That's a rule. But I think you should get in the peach. I want you to get a peach costume this Halloween and wear it.
It's funny because he said, "I'll put Scoot in a peach," and he said that for like 2 weeks. And every time he said it, I didn't say anything because like that's not the type of person I am. But I thought it to myself,
To be
like,
in a peach.
what the fuck is he? Like what the fuck is he talking about? I'm like, what is he talking about? And then like I had to ask, and he's like, in a peach, in peach. Oh, I'm like, oh, okay. And like at that point, I was so confused that it wasn't even funny. I was just like, oh, okay, I guess.
All right. Next. Now I'm just going straight down the line here. Okay.
There's no particular
Please.
order. It's just however you wrote them down. So no one
Yeah.
gets angry.
Gilded asked, "Why don't you get your total HP or your total level up and skill sum?"
Because it sucks.
Because it's useless. Okay, because it's literally useless. I have had sufficient funds to get 99 in every Bible, right? I went down the list. I saw, like, I looked at all the pros. I'm like, all right, 99 fletching. Pro, none. Get that one. Like 99 fire making. Pro, none. Get that one. Etc. All the way down the line. And I found nothing to be valuable enough for me to actually put my time into that. So fuck that.
Yeah,
All
I mean,
right.
he's really asking at that point. He's someone who has that max it out mentality, and he probably has a very completionist mentality, which isn't the world's worst thing, you know?
No,
There are
absolutely.
plenty of people who play a game to like absolute completion, you know, like if
And
it's
that's what they find fun, of course, you
yeah,
know.
and that's just not what you find fun, man,
and,
and I
and
don't blame
exactly
you.
like what I find fun is by doing shit I find fun, you know,
Exactly.
and
Okay.
what I find fun is like, you know, like I'm more of like a Call of Duty type of player than like I don't know. I've never played Animal Crossing, but that's what I imagine Animal Crossing to be like, you know, like feeling. Um, so like, I'd rather just, kill things and hang out with my friends rather than just
Yeah.
do some stupid task over and over and over and over again just to say that I did it,
I
you know?
mean, oh, and that's like a lot of this game. Like that's why I started this all back up, and I would assume that's why you've stayed. It's just the
Hmm.
social aspect. You can kill
Exactly.
things. It's laid back and it's social. You know, completing a
Exactly.
billion things just isn't your vibe.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, like there's some people who just, will sit and do rune crafting, for example, by themselves for a month straight. Good for them. But I'm too social for that. I would just get bored, which is why, I hit up people to boss. I hit up people to do mini games,
He steals their
stuff,
darts and
and I steal their darts. Exactly, exactly.
steal their darts. Um,
Well, it wasn't stealing.
no, no,
No,
you're
you
right. I'm
can't
a
steal what
very
you.
yeah. I'm a
I,
very
ki- I take I
giving
kindly take
person.
donations.
I kindly take donations.
Okay, so this next question is from AFKD.
Hey,
She says, "Why do you peer pressure shy young ladies to play Among Us?"
because like just bringing from that the last question, I have fun with people, and I feel like everybody wants to everybody wants to fit in. Everybody wants to have friends. Everybody wants people to like them. Everybody wants people to make them feel involved. So whenever I find people who might be on the fringes, I always like to make sure that they're included, and I always like to make sure that they feel like they're included.
And that's why we had to choose you for recruiting. I mean, it's a very important
Yeah.
thing, man.
Hmm.
I only recently, man, started doing it myself, and it's tough. Not recruiting, but just keeping your eye on the people on the fringes, you
Well,
know?
exactly.
I mean, I would say
Um,
probably between us and the amount of things we know about people,
hmm.
we, for this group of people, I would say me and you probably rival the NSA in knowledge at this point.
Oh yeah. People don't think we notice, but we notice everything.
Oh, yeah, dude. Everything. And that's not saying we're keeping track or anything. Just, but you know, like we know when you're saying something that's
Yeah.
out of the ordinary. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, we know, man.
Well, it's like when I do ranks, oftentimes it's like I I tend to like ask people who also know just for some outside input. But like they'll say, oh, you know, this person maybe. I'm like, oh, well, I've noticed them, but I don't think that they've been here long enough. Because we tend to be pretty strict with the ranks. Um, so
We
it's like
used to be
even
more.
yeah, yeah, but we got bigger and like we're still pretty.
Yeah,
I try to be like as strict as possible,
it's a lot of
but
work.
and then like people come in they're like who haven't seen him for a while. And it's like yeah, I noticed that. It's like there's a lot of people out there who just kind of focus on themselves and don't really like they live their life with what are those things blinders like for a horse so they
Yeah,
can't see sideways.
blinders. You just said it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Blinders, like blinders
Well,
for a horse.
exactly.
You mean blinders?
And I mean, maybe that comes from it's like through my life, I've seen like myself be at like fringes sometimes, and not feel welcome, and want that want that type of, I guess you'd say, validation. So, I can empathize with people who might slip by, and I know that doesn't feel good for me, and want that I don't want other people to feel that way.
Yeah, and it's a tough tightrope. I mean, I know mostly you do it. It's something I assign to you. Um,
Hmm.
and there's things I do that I know you would never want to have to do, and so
I
forth
mean,
and so forth. But it's a tightrope, and I know just from how many times I've just gone, well, Scott's actually in charge of that, and people
hmm
even go, well, you're the owner, this and that. I'm like, well, it doesn't matter if it's a assigned
well,
task.
and that's what a good leader does, is they find their people's strengths and they foster those. So like, you saw that was something that I like to do. You saw there's something that I do well, and you know you thought that, like, that's probably a pretty good person to delegate that task to.
Yeah. That was the
Which
same thing when we delegated all the Discord stuff to Dry, wasn't it? Wasn't that our same argument? And not that we
well,
didn't want to do
exactly.
it.
I mean, like, you could, that's part of being a good leader too. Is when you don't want to do something, you find someone else who's good at it and likes to do it, and then you delegate it to them.
Definitely.
So it's a little bit of both.
Oh, like you didn't play in that too. Well, he's got all that experience.
I mean, hey, bro, if you want to do it, please do it. Help us all out.
Yeah, man. Before we get into the next question, while we're still talking CC stuff, because so many of those questions are trolly, and I don't know how many times we're going to talk about the wheelchair, but we will, because I started that comment. I started it, so the torture I get from it is earned. I've earned it. I'll admit it.
Let me ask this next question before
Is it
we
about
go.
a wheelchair?
No, it's not. It is.
We're saving. Wait, really quick. I just want to point out we're gonna save the why wheelchair part for the very end, just to torture people.
Okay, and that's perfectly fine. But this next question is on the more serious note, and it relates to the last question's answer in general. This next question was asked by Froggy, and it's, what is your favorite thing about Meow Talk that keeps you, going as a gold star?
That's a good question. And a lot of people don't see the inner workings of it. But it's not always easy. There's oftentimes, not oftentimes, but there's a lot of times where, like, things blow up. There's a lot of times where there's no right answer. There's a lot of times where people, nobody can become happy from a situation, and it can be really tough. It can be having to deal with a lot of the desires of a lot of different parties, who don't want the same thing. So it can, and so it can be stressful. And so, that being said, I mean, what keeps me going is the communities. Like, people say, like, they wouldn't be playing this game without the CC. People say they wouldn't be happy without the CC.
There's
So,
even
I mean,
a few that might not even be alive at this point.
absolutely. And, like, I mean, as we all know, there's a lot of people on the internet who have mental issues, and oftentimes, like I said before, it's just people want to fit in. People want a community. People want to feel like they matter. And the CC has, I think, allowed a lot of people to really enjoy themselves. So that's what keeps me going. Another thing is that there's one person I can think of specifically who said they had trouble talking in groups. They had trouble throughout their life of having friends. And this CC has taught them to to be more social, to get out of their comfort zone, to really grow as a person. So that's what keeps me going, honestly, is that just people can find their own therapeuticness from the CC.
That's a bit like me, Scoot.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people like that too, which which is what I love. We have 900 people in the Discord, and I'm sure there's a lot of people like that who have learned things about themselves that may help them in their everyday life, which is what's most meaningful to me.
Do you
Well-
think? Oh,
Sorry.
And just to let everybody know, we have Bongo in the chat with us today as well. He's been hanging out listening. So just so you know who is speaking, go ahead, please. Sorry.
Yeah, Scoot. I know it's all about you and that, but like since I joined the CC like 3.5 years ago, people like help me out because they know I'm dyslexic.
Hmm.
So a lot of people help me out in the CC, like spell things properly for me.
Yeah,
so I understand things a lot more better.
and that's what keeps me going, man. Like that's what I love to hear, and that's just great, and that's why everyone loves you, Bongo.
Oh, I
And-
know that, bro.
and everybody, that's what I love is just because everybody's so nice, everybody is just so down to help each other.
yeah.
And I'm so glad that you were able to get the help that you probably didn't ask for, but that you got the benefits from.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why we're not shut down. Is just the fact that it's helped. I mean, we've helped people get clean and start turning their life around. A lot of people to get like motivated to go get jobs and stuff. That's so common. Help people progress, And I gotta say, what do you think you've taken away from it all?
Me?
Yeah,
man.
you.
This
is about you.
What do you think I've taken from all this? I don't know, man.
You had to have taken
fun.
away some new skills, man.
Yeah.
What about that training we spent 10 grand to send you to? What'd you do then? Did you just get high and drunk in Miami when we sent you?
Damn right. Who wouldn't?
Is that why it was so expensive? Because the price was only $450 online.
Well, so I mean, like I said, I've taken a lot of leadership trainings. I've my job was I would lead groups of high school kids into the backcountry, and so it's just I've always wanted to work on my professional leadership development, and I think that you can only learn that through experience. And so what I've taken away most from this is having to make decisions and having to balance people's desires and finding outcomes that benefit the whole rather than an individual. And because a leader won't make all the right decisions. I would be lying if I said everything I've done is right. Exactly. And so that's why you have to learn from experience. You have to get feedback. You have to, people are going to lash out. So what I've taken most is learning about how I am as a leader, and how I can do better. And different people resonate different leadership styles differently. So it's much of a social learning as well as just a tried and true just sending it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. And before we get back to some of these more goofier questions, what would you say is your plan for the next year or 2 years, man? Both group related, community related, as we rebrand, and Scoot in general plan. I mean, like a year or two ago, you were in Cali, and now you're in Miami. So gotta have something planned.
Okay, we'll start with the easy one, the CC. I don't know. The CC, like obviously, like I'm, hopefully we can at least get 50% more people. Um, so we're at like 900 in the Discord now. I'd like to hit at least 1400. As when you make goals, you want to make sure to make reasonable, obtainable goals. Um, so I see that as being reasonable. Obviously, I'd like double it, uh, but that's going to be a work in progress. I am already happy with where we are in terms of getting events going, getting community more involved. Because a year ago, I was the only one doing events, and I was the only one thinking about ways to get everyone involved, which is time consuming and strenuous. But now I'm glad to have a team who can kind of pick that up. So take a little pressure off of me. So in a year or two, I hope that we can get more people involved in that. Have events weekly, events monthly, events yearly.
Daily,
In
almost
all,
just different things
yeah,
running at different times of different
exactly,
intensity. That's the thing I've tried to
exactly.
tell them is have different intensity things going on. Not everyone wants to do something that's so long form, and not everyone
Hmm.
wants to do something that's you guys do that every day at 3. Well, I don't care.
Exactly. Um, which is
But
which is why, yeah. Please go on.
oh no, I was gonna say, but they overlap a little. The person who doesn't want to do
Hmm.
everything at 3 might want to do things that span over a week, and the person who doesn't want to do it,
Hmm.
person who likes everything at 3, might also like things that span over the week. Like skill of the week,
Hmm.
things like that. And I know our goal is to really this year is to expand beyond.
Well, exactly, and that's what I was going to say is that events not only in RuneScape, but we have a WoW section. I don't play WoW. I never will. Um, that being said, you know, I still think that those people deserve their own events, their own event team. Same with people who are playing Minecraft. We've started Among Us events. Actually, I've spoken with some of the people. We might play some RuneScape Scriblio tonight. It's just finding events that will speak to a lot of different people in a lot of different ways that uh, aren't just the way that I like it or the way that someone else likes it, or the way that people who are at the fringes might like it.
Yeah, and that's a
You should
good.
know an event. What is that event? I'm sorry.
Which one, Scriblio?
Yeah, what is that?
Well, so a lot, some of the people listening may remember, but it's basically like an online Pictionary game, um, where you can either just use generic words or you can put in your own words. So basically, it's like one person draws and everybody tries to guess it. You get points for guessing. It's a lot of fun because it's a lot of fun when people are really bad at drawing and you can just nobody knows what it is and you can laugh. And it's also impressive to see people just draw really good drawings. So I have a massive word bank of RuneScape words that I put in there, and it's a lot of fun. So we haven't done it in a while. We did it a lot, I'd say about last year. And someone brought it up to me. I was like, wow, great idea. We haven't done that in a while. Let's get it going again. So we're
Yeah,
probably
there.
gonna get those going too.
Yeah, there's definitely a group of people who really love that, and it's Scribble is like what was that old drawing board game people used to do?
Pictionary.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah,
I said that.
it's a great value Pictionary in a way, but better because it's online. It's easy to
Hmm.
access, and you don't divorce your wife afterwards.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
just divorced Navi.
Oh man, I know you've tried for many years, and it's just never gonna happen.
I just can't get rid of him. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Okay.
never
That's
gonna
okay. He
happen.
was just trying to encase me in blocks.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for
Beca-
Scoot to give me the son I deserve.
Good luck on that.
Well,
And
he said if
congratulations, Scoot.
I,
he said if we keep
I agree.
trying, it'll happen.
Can I
Okay.
pass on? Can I pass on that question or what?
Which question?
I don't know. I just don't
I didn't
like
know
it.
there was a question at
No,
all.
it's a statement.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Sure.
Uh,
All right.
Yeah, let's get some of these goofy ones back in here.
All right. Emily asked, why?
Yeah, that's starting to bite you in the ass, isn't it?
I knew it. I know. That's good
You
because
can
that's how you really
see
learn
them
about
far
somebody.
away, though, too. So,
So what I would say to that is, why not?
yeah. Why not? Are
All
you one
right.
of those people you give everything at least 3 tries?
Actually, I know you're joking, but yeah, bro,
I'm
100%.
not joking.
Except for,
No,
uh,
that's a big motto.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
a Navy rule.
yeah,
I'll try everything at least once, if not 3 times.
yeah. So I can guarantee 3 times, but I will always try something once at least if someone makes me, because I'm also one of the firm believers. Like someone says, "Oh, I don't like that food." Like, okay,
How many
have
times
you
you
had
tried
it?
it?
Exactly. Have you had it recently? Like maybe your palate changes. Maybe,
Oh
like
yeah.
this is something that I like. So I think it might be something you like. So if someone else says, "Hey, I like this," you know what? My initial tendency is to be like, "I don't want to try it. I don't like it." But that's not how you grow, and that's not how you learn. You have to get out of your comfort zone. So I will try it, and at least you try it and say you don't like it, rather than just say I don't like it and not try it. You know.
All right. So I'm going to just glance over these because, guys, we will be going over these questions by the end of this. So there's a couple of questions such as from Oni, where did your legs go?
We can get into the legs now. We're good. Let's
Well,
do the
well, hold
legs.
on.
Let's do the
Wait.
legs.
Let me just get all the leg questions out that I can find really quick. There's only a couple. Zaza says, "What is the daily life of a man in a wheelchair?"
Yeah, let's start with that. No, let's yeah, Scoot. What is the daily life of a man in a wheelchair?
um, Getting asked by people legitimately thinking that I'm in a wheelchair every day.
Okay.
That's pretty much my life at this point.
I'm glad I've made such a lasting impression. I'll keep going, Trace. I'm sorry.
No, those were actually the only leg questions. There was some other ones, but
So I guess I'll extrapolate on the legs then, since that was the last one. Um, well, yeah. So it's pretty funny because I've had people literally say, "Do you not really have legs? Like, do you like not have legs, or do your legs not
Hey,
work, or like,
hey,
like
wait.
people?"
Should we do the
Yeah.
backstory or what people do to you
Oh,
first?
yeah. I'll get there. I'll get
Okay,
there.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say so that way because I know I gotta defend myself in this backstory.
Yeah.
I gotta be
Well,
ready.
so yeah, it's people were like, oh, like people legitimately think that I'm in a wheelchair. People also make jokes like about not having legs, which is honestly, it's been a joke that's run itself into the fucking ground. But like that still makes me laugh all the time, just because of the ingenuity of some of the jokes that people bring into the table. Like I still laugh so hard sometimes because it's like, how did they think of that? Um, but it's funny because I I have I have 2 legs and I walk. In case anybody didn't know that.
Wow, that's what a guy with 2 legs definitely says all the time.
Yeah, bro. Everybody has 2 legs on the internet.
Everybody has 2 legs on the internet.
um, but it's also funny is that like it's kind of you can really see the way that like memes spread, um, because this is like a joke that Navi made years ago that probably most of the people using that joke have no idea where it came from or what it is, but like they see the memes, they laugh, they cry, they have fun with it. But like they weren't here for it and like they don't know. So I guess this is going to be a good time to explain to them how it started. Um, and so it all started with the Snapchat group. So we had a Snapchat group with a couple of us, like 10, 15 of us, and like I'd send a selfie every now and then, right? But
Yeah,
but in all of my selfies,
it was Waist
you wouldn't
up.
see my leg.
Waist
Yeah, it
up,
was
and you
waist
were
up.
always sitting.
Yeah, because who the fuck would take a fucking selfie of their legs, right? Like I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but that's I don't know.
Doesn't
Like I've
gotta
never
be of
like
your legs, man, but you were always sitting. You never not sitting.
okay. Well, that might be true, but uh, I don't know, man. I just fucking took selfies and sent them to these guys, and like Navi's like, oh, where are your legs? You have no legs. Blah 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 blah, and then like so everybody started saying that, and then I fucking sent a picture of my legs, and they cried Photoshop, and like it's my legs aren't in the same picture as me as my face, so like it can be somebody else's legs, and like literally, like conspiracy shit, which is fucking funny. But Navi never let it die, as you can see, and
I don't even got to bring it up anymore.
yeah, I was gonna say, and like he doesn't even have to. It's like he's planted that seed, and it's just fucking kept on growing.
Okay. So that's, it's comical for somebody who has fairly new, like myself, into the group.
Well,
I don't go ahead.
I was gonna say, well, I have gotten some flack over that as of late, because someone could join who actually has no legs or is disabled, and would see that and be offended, which is its own thing. I mean, the culture's become a little more opportune to things like that culturally.
Right.
I don't know what to say there. I will say this: every single disabled person I've ever met, really, they can find the humor.
The humor, absolutely.
I could tell a bunch of stories of different people and just their way of finding humor. I don't even think I could find the humor they can find, man.
Yeah, and I mean, I would hope that they'd find the humor in this as well. And I mean, obviously, no one has come to us ever, being offended. If it happens, we address everything as we should, and that can be addressed. But I mean, most people are just like happy to be involved,
Yeah.
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 All right. We're gonna do some rapid fire questions now, just really quick.
Just like Scoot.
Yeah. So, I smoke Debs or I smoke Bongs. Ask
smoke
which is more
Debs.
tap.
That's
Sorry,
another
what
one I
was the question?
started.
Which one is more appetizing? Broccoli and salami sandwich with chocolate sauce, or honey barbecue liver and orange slice sandwich with coagulated gravy. Both with a glass of soy sauce milk.
I love soy sauce and I love milk. I literally love those. So
everything he just described there sounded like he was so obscenely baked that he was just like, let's throw this all together.
He was smoking dabs, that's for sure.
Smoking Debs.
and then there's also the side question. I did miss a couple of leg questions. I'm sorry. Is it easier to poop with no legs? Also, how is the life of a man with no legs? I did miss those. That was also from Pickle Booty and Debs there. Let's see here.
I've never heard that shit before, and like the people just still find a way to like find new jokes, and it makes me laugh every time.
Is it easier to poop with no legs?
I would assume so, but right?
I don't know.
I think
it would be harder, but because you have no way to
spread the cheeks.
Spread the cheeks. Not a lot of people do the cheek spread, man. That's a rare thing.
What do you just poop with your ass closed? I don't know.
It opens on its own, man.
Hunter asks, what's it like doing stunts for Shia LaBeouf?
Oh, yeah. So I actually heard that a lot in my life, that I look like a taller version of Shia LaBeouf. Well, he's a little shorter than me, so they kicked me off the movie. But
you did get prevailing wage, though, right?
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I'm in the Actors Guild now.
Well, yeah. Good. All that matters is if you show up for a minute, you might as well be there for 8 hours.
exactly. Well, yeah, I've heard that before. That's
All
all. I don't
right.
know what else to say about that.
Now, I kind of have an idea of what you're going to respond to this. I always ask everybody a generalized question around one topic. Um, so my question for you, my personal question for you is, tell me your thoughts about people and taking responsibility for their own actions.
Well, that's a good question. I think that I've touched a decent amount earlier in the conversation.
I know, but I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah. Um, so what to add to that is that I think that people will tend to not take uh, responsibility for their actions. I mean that's just a normal human tendency. I'd be lying if I said that I've always taken responsibility for my actions. Um, but I think it's important to learn at least after the fact about how something happened that you can learn from for the future. So I think that everybody should at least look retrospectively. In the moment when emotions are high, it's easier said than done. But at least after the fact, it's best to reflect, debrief, figure out
What
why did I
about
act that way. Yeah.
what about the people that end up just stuck in that loop though, man? That loop of, oh God, what did I do? Uh, etc. They never get to the point of
the
how
reconciliation
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
yeah, because that can be really risky advice. You find someone that's like that, and you tell them to do that, and then you're
definitely.
constantly sending them down a path of just that, which is almost a living nightmare, I would assume.
That's that's great that you brought that up. Because another thing that I believe in is communication, and that's a very, very important thing. Like there, nobody is so closed off where they don't want to talk about things, right? So like if you feel like you've done something wrong, then and you don't know what it is, communicate about it. Ask them, hey, you know, when this happened, like what did I do wrong? What could I have done better? Um, like yeah, sometimes you might get people who are, they themselves are stuck in their own ways, but like at least you make the effort to find out like from them what did I do wrong,
Yeah.
because you need that feedback. At least if it's not from them, it's from somebody else. Talk to somebody else about it.
Oh yeah.
Tell them the situation and tell them the situation like unbiasedly, like because you're going to want to put your own lens in it. You want to tell them unbiasedly like what happened. Whether it's a therapist, a friend, someone who's not even involved, um, who can tell you like give you a little bit of insight, because it's very easy to spiral in your own head, which means you need to get out of your head for it, which means communicating it by talking to ideally the person who knows the most, which is the other person that was involved in the situation. And if that's not an option, then talk to a friend about it, and accept them telling you you did something wrong, or accept them telling you no, like you did nothing wrong, you know, um, and you have to believe that.
Okay. Excellent. All
Mm-hmm.
right. And then my second question on the lighter side of things is waffles or pancakes?
Oh my god, that's such an easy question. Pancakes, first of all. Second of all,
Uh-huh.
who the fuck eats waffles? What are you, like 6?
Bro, waffles
um,
have little squares to hold the cereal,
yeah,
and they're
but guess
more
what?
crispy spots.
Yeah, but like the dough just tastes different, first of all, and
It's the
Well,
same
it
second
is
of
dough.
all,
different.
No,
No,
it's
it's
the
actually
yeah,
same. You
different
can use
dough.
different dough. You can
like
use the same
it's
dough.
You
you
can.
can you can, but you can't call it a waffle then if you use pancake dough. Like you
Okay.
can say a waffle
Batter.
shaped
It's
pancake.
batter.
Batter. Thank you. I knew it wasn't dough, but so like I mean, so I'd say pancake batter is sweeter by itself. Um,
Definitely.
which and if you you ever have my chocolate chip banana pancakes, you will never go back to waffles. Um,
He
it's
gives
just
them to you the morning after, but it tastes
oh
like someone crushed up some sort of
no
medicine or something into them.
no no no. I make them the night before. All right, like that night we're having fucking pancakes. I've actually made pancakes at a fucking party one time, like for everybody. It was awesome.
Oh God,
Um,
you're
but I
quite
mean,
the drunk life of the show, aren't you?
yeah, bro. Like I was like frisbee tossing people pancakes and shit around the party. You can you toss a waffle like a frisbee? No, you
Yeah,
can't.
you
Or,
can.
bro,
Yes,
look,
you can.
no, you can flop it. Okay, you
You
can flop it
can
over to people.
flop
You can't disk
What are
it
you
over.
doing to these waffles, dude? I feel like you're doing something bad to the waffles. I don't think you're having real waffles.
I've had Eggo. Okay.
That's not a real waffle.
Yeah,
That's frozen
that-
milk.
I know. I know. But I mean, like, you can put syrup on waffles, and like, would you rather have like full surface area, or would you rather just be little cups of fucking syrup? I don't know.
Dude, waffle has more surface area. What are you talking about? That's
Wait,
why
whose side? Wait, whose side are you on here, Navi? Are you on the interviewer's side, or are you on your own side?
I'm not on anyone's side, man. I'm just defending waffles. They were innocent. I
Yeah,
hate
yeah.
taking sides, man. I absolutely
Okay.
do.
Let the jury know that he has been defending waffles this whole time, as if he obviously chose waffles over pancakes.
Listen, I'll do them both, dude. Make them a sandwich. I don't care.
Ah, okay. See, now we have a compromise. Let's do it. All right. So, a waffle sandwich with pancakes as the bread and the waffle is in the middle. Okay.
Yeah, get all the
So
crisp
two
in the
pancakes.
middle, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
I feel
Perfect.
like
See?
your blood sugar is gonna max out the first bite.
Who
but
gives a
yeah.
who gives a fuck when dude, oh, that's great. So you have to put the syrup. Make sure the syrup's in all the holes of the waffle first.
Oh my God. Dude, it sounds like the idea for the McGriddle, but they were like, yeah,
No,
we ain't
bro.
got the budget for that. So they were just like, yeah, just squirt syrup in some bread, bro. It'll work.
Oh man, who thought just such a simple question could have such a long, convoluted answer?
Oh, dude, they all could. If I let...
yeah, especially with you, Scott.
Yeah.
Especially with you. But you are a very informative young man, and so that's good.
I've got a lot of good stuff to add.
Yeah.
Well, you know, with the way you answer the questions actually leads me into one of mine, and I know it's things we stray away from. I'll let you know throughout all these, I've given people the option to completely be devoid of those things we stray away from, unless you're going to go on like a tirade that's awful. So, you know, you say, so that's just the preface here. The way you respond to everything, and someone brought up earlier while we were doing sound checks, they were like, what are you, some sort of Buddhist monk or something? You ever do any Zen, any Buddhism, any of that fun stuff?
No, but I definitely think about stuff, if that makes any sense, you know?
Bro,
Well, I'm glad you think.
I think you spend most of your time thinking. I mean,
Yeah,
you
I
are
mean-
known as the I'll come in at the last minute with a paragraph.
Yeah, because, you know, and Navi, you've known this like from the beginning. It's like I've never like jumped to any conclusion. You know what I mean? Like,
Bro, you don't get to
like-
let's stop right there. You don't get to conclusions.
yeah,
Let's be
okay.
honest. Let's be a little, you know, we all should be
Like-
honest with ourselves a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, at least see, I'd rather not come to a conclusion and
Well, I can see
like,
where
you
you're
know,
going with that, man. And you can always hit a conclusion and change. I think that's a really mature spot where you can have a thought about something, get new information, and not be so attached to it that you can change, you know? I've had many thoughts that were like solid. Like I thought, that's it. I'll flip-flop on something because I'll go, new information, man. I gotta change.
Mm-hmm. And exactly, it's like, you know, that's why, you know, like as with, you know, with you say that I don't come to like any decisions. I mean, I come to the decisions, I believe. You know,
Yeah,
not always.
it's not an
like,
attack, man.
but,
We're just
But like,
just
well,
conversation.
no, absolutely. I mean, like, especially nowadays, it's like these are group decisions that we make. So like, I
Well,
don't
we're not
have
even.
like, a
Yeah.
final,
Well, yeah. I'm
like, I
just
don't have a final
saying.
say in anything.
Oh
But like,
yeah, I used that
in,
recently. Your whole listen. I just have one vote, and that's it. I've used that. We're not even talking about
mhm.
things like that, man. We're just talking. Doesn't have to
Yeah,
be
well, and so
focused
like,
there.
yeah, well, like there's been like situations where like people have called for someone to get banned or something. Back like when we were kind of more hands on with the decision making. And like I would make sure to get both sides of the situation, find out who has what stake in it, learn, and then come to a conclusion that I think is the right conclusion. Because no one, because the biggest thing about like making decisions is there's always going to be someone who doesn't agree with it, and there's always going to be someone who's unhappy, right?
Yeah.
Um, and that means that whatever you do needs to be the right decision. It doesn't have to be the decision to make somebody happy because never no everyone's not going to be happy. It's like it has to be the right thing. So someone might say, oh, they did this, they should get banned, right? Um, and when like just taking all the information, you say, okay, it was bad, but like you know the right decision might not be banning them. On the flip side, someone might say, you know, I shouldn't be banned because it wasn't serious enough, and like the right decision might be, hey, we were friends for a long time, like unfortunately, like the right decision is like that you like this isn't the right place for you,
Yeah. We've had to do
so it's
that a
important.
few times on a very
Yeah,
complex level, and none of it was ever easy.
exactly, and I mean that that comes from thinking about it. It's you know I don't I because I don't like when people jump to conclusions. I think people are owed at least some thought, you know. As yeah. So I know we kind of got a little sidetracked, but the whole Buddhist thing is like, I mean, I just I smoked a lot of weed.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna get to it, but yeah, I was gonna say a lot of it too probably comes down to you got that I'm very baked a lot, mentality, which can lead you right down that path, and you always find a lot of overlap in those two communities.
Yeah, and I mean,
But there's nothing wrong with that. And let
Absolutely
me,
nothing wrong.
and
because you're talking to someone who, as much as I think it would be amazing to
mhm,
get baked on a regular and consistent basis, can't because
yeah,
of job and stuff like that. So
hmm
I see nothing wrong with it. So I'm gonna just say that as
hmm
a non-smoker, I'm like, dude,
yeah.
if I
Well,
could, I would. There's nothing
well,
wrong with
it's kind
it.
of a joke, It's like people will say, like, "Oh, like you must be high, like to have an idea like that." But I mean, it's that's kind of like belittling the idea. You know what I mean?
It is. It's an
Exactly.
attack on
I,
the
I was,
idea, to be honest.
yeah, I was kind of making a joke, but like, I mean, like you guys were like, "Oh, like, I mean, like we are talking about, Dabs' question." Okay, that shit was fucking that was a funny question, but I mean, like, you know,
I
like
loved his question. I
Yeah,
thought it
yeah,
was
that was a whole
exactly.
very
different with
creative.
the tone and everything. I hope you'd understand.
Uh-huh.
It's not an attack of it. It's just one of
No, no,
those
no, exactly.
a food. When you think
Um,
of a food question where it's a bunch of things jammed together, you think, man, someone
yeah.
was baked when they came up with that.
No, exactly. No, exactly. It's just it's a little funny. Like it's like it's a way of saying that shit's funny as fuck.
Yeah, but there's a
um,
difference when like you say something and you have like I say a lot of things. Like someone just quoted me from the one we did with Soph.
mhm.
And you turn around and you take that and go, "Oh man, it sounds like someone high would say." Well, that's an attack on that statement. Absolutely.
Yeah.
When it's a food
Um,
thing, I would say, and I know it's hard to tell, but it's just a common
yeah.
combination. People are high, they get hungry,
Well,
and if you've never
well,
been high, you get hungry.
yeah. It's definitely different when it's like something is an obvious joke and then saying like something like introspective. Then that's
Yeah.
kind of like belittling the idea. Like I know, like I said, like yeah, I smoked a lot of weed. It's kind of a joke. like I I've just I observe and I learn and I observe and I learn from other people, so like I see a lot of group dynamics, see like things in like friend groups that I've had in my life, that I've just always tried to learn from. Um, and I'm kind of I my mentality is I always like to find out like how things work and why they work, which goes from everything from nature, science to math to also like interpersonal communication.
Yeah.
So that's so if you can tell that like, I'm always trying to learn from both sides. I'm always trying to learn from everything. That's kind of I guess you could say that's kind of a Buddhist mentality.
Yeah.
Just trying to learn. Um, and when you learn, you come up with I don't want to say rules, but like in math or something. You have like you learn by something, you learn like why it works. You have kind of a rule for it. Like a way to think like why does this actually happen? Um, so yeah, I've definitely um, come to some certain conclusions that I think are right in terms of you know uh,
Well,
group dynamics.
I
but that's where Buddhism, I would say, takes you on a lot of things, is down a path of learning. You start to look into it, and that's really what it is, learning.
Hmm.
Um, to give you a long and short, uh, it's not just a race to become enlightened. It's become enlightened and then go back and enlighten others. You know,
Exactly.
which leads me to my next question. You say you learn a lot from people, and you're always observing. How much do you integrate?
Um, it, could you clarify what you mean by integrate?
How much do you take in from what you learn from someone? And go, hey, this works for me too. This I can see this being a true statement through my own truth, and how many
Every
things can you
so
track
yeah,
back?
I mean everything that I do because um, I've seen it in action. And like I mean, we all get emotional sometimes. We all like forget, you know, I'd say we all forget, being logical sometimes. So I mean, I can get upset sometimes, just like anybody else can, and like forget, you know, what's the logical thing to do. But I everything I do, I try to incorporate everything that I learned. Like earlier in the segment, I spoke about I have been at the fringes of certain friend groups, and I know how that's made me feel. So I make it a thing to really make sure that nobody else is put to that fringe. That's just one example of ways that I've learned and tried to incorporate.
And from there, what would you say is the Scoot, or I should say Scott operating system, man?
What the fuck does that
What's your core, man? If we had to boil it
mean?
down to like,
It doesn't help.
if we had to boil it down and reboot Scott, what's the core operating system here, man?
makes you you.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Thank you, Trace. I was trying to figure out what that meant. Um, what makes me me? Um,
Yeah, if we were making a
I
Scoot clone, how would we reboot the brain?
I mean, I really don't know how to answer this, but I will answer how I think that I can answer this. So maybe it doesn't answer the question, maybe it does. Um, but like I mean, my core is that I like to help people. My goals in life is to like own a business that helps people. Um, I like to listen to people. I like to involve myself and make sure that people see the best outcome that they deserve. Uh, which um, so I mean that's kind of I've done a lot of work and with youth. Uh, I love nature. Um, I think that nature is one of the most amazing things. A lot of people don't get nature in their everyday life, and so I think
I get to
my
see my
core is,
backyard.
yeah. I'm sorry, but that's not enough. That is not enough. Like you should really take a trip to like somewhere where you either have to camp or you have to get a cabin or something where you're, because in this day and age it's so hard to disconnect from technology. And I know a lot of people can't because of jobs and whatnot, but it's really important to take a day or two or a week to just really immerse yourself in the natural world. Because in this day and age, it's just really hard to. Um, and just take a second to really connect with nature. And so I don't know. Does that answer the question?
I think so. I
Yeah.
have
There's no
one
wrong
final question
answers,
for
man.
Yeah.
it's all about you. It's how you work. But I have one final question for you, and then I don't know if Navi has any left, but to share your knowledge with other people, that's something you say you like to do. So
Mhm.
if you could share one piece of advice to everyone, what would that one single
She's taking
piece of
my
advice
final
be?
questions.
Oh
I'm
man.
gonna still ask it because it's slightly different. I can hear
Okay.
you. I can hear your brain sizzling.
Sizzle.
Um. My advice.
Hmm.
Man, that's a tough question. That's a good question. That's a really good question. Um. It's a
And
hard
that's
one.
not an answer.
I was stalling here for a second while I
Well, you
while
take the time you need.
Did I
uh,
stump Scoot?
no, I got a lot of stuff, as you can
I
tell. I'm just
know.
trying to
That's
figure
why
out
I'm
like,
saying one piece. What would it be?
well, so what immediately came to mind is just that, it's not worth it. It's really not worth like getting, emotionally attached to something that doesn't benefit you, which is easier said than done, of course, but it's really like um, it's just really important not to hold on to grudges and anger that doesn't benefit you. Um, so you know, my advice is like to try to find ways to move on, whether it's distracting yourself, finding new things, uh, reconciling it. There's a lot of different ways to get over it, but I think it's important that it's don't hang on to things that don't benefit your mental well-being.
I'll take that answer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Highly,
is that good?
highly agree. Now let's see if you can do it twice.
Okay, I'm down. Back to back.
Back to back, almost the exact same thing, but maybe slightly different. What would be your advice to the cats out there listening?
Uh,
Told you it was the same but different.
well, this is a little bit less serious because you said cats.
Because I said that's the defining point that makes it a little less
Yeah,
serious. Well, I would say
yeah,
I
exactly.
would say the young meowers out there or something like that, but I don't know. I mean, we have more than we used to. We don't have a billion of them.
Okay, I got one. Okay, so what I like to think is, things always work out in the end, and if it hasn't worked itself out yet, it's not the end. So just keep on going. There's light at the end of the tunnel. There's it'll get better in the end,
Man.
I guess.
I'm glad you read that book I wrote.
I don't know if I can book you, Ro. What
It
the?
sounds like you're repeating a lot of it.
I guess I'm very unoriginal with my ideas, apparently.
So, and for some reason I do this, and no one's done well. So I'll turn it around to you. What questions do you got, Scoot? Whether
Oh,
it's
that's
for
perfect.
those meowing out there, watching, listening,
Oh, okay. For them, I was going to ask you
or
guys
no,
questions.
well, yeah, us, the meowers out there, anything, man.
Okay, so I think it'll be good to end on a question for them. because
Oh,
it'll keep them thinking.
yeah.
Um, so before we get to that, I guess I want to ask you guys a question. Um, this one's for Trace.
Okay.
Trace.
He came prepared.
Okay. uh, cats or dogs?
Ooh,
I know you have a bunch of everything.
I have dogs, cats, fish. Yeah. Um, I'm definitely a cat person. My daughter and I will meow at each other throughout the house. So I'm gonna have to say a cat, but I mean, 1 centimeter behind it is a dog because
Well, good.
my baby
That's
is
good
my
'cause
dog.
we are in Meow Talk, and if you had said anything else, then we'd have to abandon you. Sorry.
Oh, that's not how it works. You only started meowing like this past year.
I meow every now and then. Okay, I dabble in the meows.
Dabble. Speaking of that, I forgot to ask. Let's hear a scoop meow.
Oh yeah, we have to have a meow.
Yeah.
Meow.
No, not a
Your cats don't say
Meow. Uh,
One more time.
meow. Meow.
It's like a deep deaf cat meow. It's like meow.
No, it sounds like a
Meow.
cat. Like I don't give a fuck. Get away from me.
Don't touch me
Um,
there.
I have a question for you, Navi.
Oh god.
Ooh.
No
Since I know
one's
you're a
asked.
fucking weirdo.
Wow. Fucking weirdo. Well, define
if
weird.
you
I think
okay,
differently.
if you could eat one animal that you've never tried before, what would you try?
Ooh. That's a hard one because you remember when I said try anything once? I would
Yeah,
love to
exactly.
try at least every animal once, man.
Yeah, so pick one, bro. Which one would you want to do the most?
Pick one. It's hard. There's so
Yeah.
many tasty animals out
Hey, bro,
there.
you asked me a lot of questions too, where I had to fucking pick one.
Can it be something that doesn't exist anymore?
Uh, it's up to you,
No.
bro. It's all about you.
Well, no, because look, dinosaurs don't exist. So even if I try all the animals that still exist, I can never try a dinosaur. I can never try a dodo or one of those animals that got eaten to extinction the second people found it. So I'd want to try one of those, man, somehow.
Like a
Magically.
mammoth or something?
Like a mammoth, yeah, exactly. Because it can happen. So it's that thing you can't have. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
I'm not going to wake up tomorrow and be like, holy shit, Jurassic Park's open. Let me go get a fucking Stegosaurus. You know, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah. So you always want what you can get.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't generally, if I can't get something, I go, can't be asked. But
Yeah. The dinosaurs.
yeah, but, you know, with the goal of wanting to eat one of every animal, like a reverse Noah's Ark here, what's the one animal I can't get, man? What's the one you can't get? Dinosaurs.
That's the funny thing is like I can tell that you've thought about this before.
Nope, just now. I've thought about the desire to eat every animal at least once before, but I never thought about what animal do I most want to try.
Can I ask one more question?
Of course.
It's your podcast, man. Ask
Perfect.
as many as
Okay,
you want.
so I'm gonna preface this by saying, watch what you say because I have my finger on the trigger. Who was the best person you interviewed so far?
Watch what you say because I have my finger on the trigger. You know what? So the first ones.
I'm kidding. Don't answer this. I don't want. There was a joke. There was a complete joke.
No,
I don't want anyone to feel like.
Well, my response isn't gonna be Singletary.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
So the first ones we did, the first one I did once after Nicole gave me the idea, was I did Lord's Boy, and it was literally he was like, "Well, man, we should have like something prepared." And then we started talking about LSD, and I'm like, "Here we go, man. Fuck it." And so what I want to do is go back through and do some of those people. Now we got better sound quality. We got a little bit more of a direction we're in. And believe it or not, like the first ones, it's very like, I don't want the whole question answer. I want more of a flowing conversation. The
Yeah,
questions
yeah,
are
yeah.
there to get us back on track. But the
Like,
first ones
mhm.
are sort of, and I've been doing it in this one, but that's, I don't know. It's you, so I was like a little bit different. But
Yeah, absolutely.
like M's, I don't at all. There's no like talk over. You go back to dries. I believe I keep saying I'm gonna hand it back to my beautiful co-host. You know, I'm still trying to find a rhythm, but once that rhythm's found, I
Hmm.
want to go back through and redo everyone. I also want to do
Yeah.
one that's me, you, beer, and dry.
Hmm.
So after
I
we do
mean,
beers, we're gonna try to get that set
well,
up somehow.
we could just do like a conversation. It doesn't have to
Yeah.
be
Well,
like just like a round table kind of thing.
yeah, dude. That's the whole goal, and I
Hmm.
don't want it to be just 100,000% meow talk. Like that's
Yeah.
just the jumping off part. I was just telling Trace today.
Hmm.
I'm like, they don't have to be a part of it. Find people. I want to interview people. I want to interview 1,000 people. That's
Yeah,
it.
I know you said you were like, I wanted to be more of a flowing conversation, and like I know that I kind of like just gave some like long, deep answers to a lot of
That's
your
the point.
questions, so
That's
I'm
the
sorry.
point, man.
Um,
Yeah,
And the
but like
questions
you are
we,
are
being.
yeah, but like we still had some good conversations like in
yeah.
between and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, and the questions are just to get things back on track because some people they feel,
Hmm.
and I know, I don't got to give you this preface, but I give people a
Hmm.
preface. You heard the one about hey, don't go off on a crazy, you know, Kramer-esque rant at a comedy club type deal.
Oh
Don't
yeah.
do that because I can't air it. I
That's dark.
can't. I'm gonna cut it out or I can't air it.
Hmm.
And I don't support it. Don't do it. Um,
Yeah.
but a lot of people they're really uneasy.
Hmm.
And people get that way when they don't know. That's great. If I can talk someone into the point that they just completely forget, that's where it gets really good. But
Yeah.
a lot of
Absolutely.
people, they have that in their mind the whole time, the whole
Hmm.
exact time. They're not as candor as they would be because they're worried. And I don't blame them. I
Hmm.
understand, you can get tripped up. Understand you say something I think that's going to cause trouble for you. You say your address or something. I'm going to have to go back through and bleep that. I'm not going to
Yeah.
put anyone at risk for some weird project that someone recommended and I just had the itch to do.
Hmm.
I wouldn't say it's not something I've always wanted to do. I've been told many
Definitely.
times I have a voice for radio, so fuck, why not? Why not? This is my swing. And it'll
Oh
probably
yeah, this is
miss.
your swing.
It'll probably miss. And I'll find something else and I'll take another swing. I never stop swinging. I don't recommend
I mean,
anyone ever
you can
stop
do.
swinging.
I mean, if you enjoy it, then it's never. It's like who cares what comes of it? You know what I mean? Like you
Exactly.
found value in it when it happened, and so like there's nothing wrong with that. Even if like it doesn't turn into a full blown career, like you still enjoyed doing this, you still had fun with it, and it's like it still had value to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's been a good experience for the both of us because Navi's like, yeah, guess what? You're helping. And I'm like, okay. Well,
She's
in a way,
really
yeah.
she's overstating. I said, "You want to help?" And then she
I
was
was like,
"You need a better mic." And I'm like, "No, I don't." And then I'm looking at mics.
ah,
I don't wanna. And then she's like, "You're doing it."
no.
Trace is a very harsh boss. She beats me at night.
So that's why you spent hours trying to find a mic.
No, it was.
That's my brain because I was like, I'm gonna spend a good amount on this, and I want to know that's right. Like I chose between two mid-level mics of all right expense, and I literally chose. Like I even asked Trace. I said, "Would you say my voice is deeper or not as deep?" I don't feel it's deep. She's like, "It's semi-deep." So I went with one that people said will turn out better for someone with a deeper voice.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I almost had him convinced to buy cat ear headphones with a mic attached to it. I was so close.
I figured
Oh,
that might
it's
be.
not too late to give up on that dream.
I can't buy $149 cat ear headphones.
The
The only way that's
crowdfund
happening.
them.
The only way that's happening is if someone gets them, and the only person that could do this is them. If someone gets them and sends them directly to me without my knowledge. That's the only way that's happening. So whoever, if that were to happen, only M knows where to send them. So they would have to work through M and it would be a whole process, and it would fall apart before it ever came to fruition. So I'm safe. But I thought the cat ear headphones was a bit of a step towards insanity I didn't need. I mean, you've seen with dealing with some other things recent, it doesn't take much for me to make that step to insanity, and you don't even know like the full grasp that I can get to that point, you know?
Trust me, I've seen it. No, no, I'm just kidding.
I mean, so I don't know, you know, and we're moving away from the cat stuff, dude. I've meowed since I was engaged, man, and I'm pretty meowed out. It's been like 10 years. I'm meowed out, man.
Hey, the people love it.
I know
some people love it.
So, you know what? If you don't
I won't say all people.
If you don't like it, that's on you, man. How can you hate someone?
You don't like it? There's a Wolf Talk. You can go there.
Yeah.
I thought that CC closed.
That CC was a disgruntled ex Meow Talk person. So
man, there's a lot of disgruntled ex Meow Talk CCs. We don't even gotta count them all.
Which is unfortunate, you know, because I mean, we try, you know, we try.
We do.
We're not.
All you can do.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not going to be the right fit for everyone. Sometimes people aren't the right fit for us, and sometimes they're not the right fit, and other people got to step in and take care of it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Which is a job I firmly will put on Scoot. We even now have a name for that when it happens.
What do we?
That's a private message conversation.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Definitely not on the recording or right after we do the end. I could tell you what I called the card.
Yeah, you guys can find out by subscribing to his OnlyFans.
Yeah. Please send me money. I'm starving. Slightly true, slightly untrue. I think. But I think that was everything, man.
Yeah. I still have I have to leave the meowers with a question, of course. But you know, is there?
And we have to do one more thing before you do that. All right, so Scoot, we need a secret word of the day.
A secret word of the day.
I would
say,
It's not very secret if I tell you the word of the day, is it?
Well, no, because for those who listen all the way through, if the first person who tells us what the secret word of the day is, they will get a in-game RuneScape surprise if they tell Navi or myself.
Ooh, that's very cool. Okay.
No one's claimed it yet, but everyone's listened to things all the way through. It's weird.
Can I give a hint as to what it is? And
nope, you just give the word of the day, and then.
Okay.
I mean, you can do a competing one of your own.
Yeah, well, we can do one.
I was just gonna say, the word of the day is my favorite skill.
Ooh.
Everybody should know what that is.
Yeah, that's a good way of going about it.
If you don't know what it is, you can look me up and you'll know it immediately. But it's right there.
And
Navi already knows it, so
I think I may know it, but I don't know. I know you don't like skilling.
Yeah.
Well, so by skill, I mean
it's any skill.
It might be a skill. Yeah, a combat skill is a skill.
Yeah, it might be the one skill he likes. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Only
they will know. Don't give away too many hints.
That's enough.
Okay, that's enough.
That's enough.
The rest is for you guys.
All right, Scoot. Well, thanks for coming and talking with us.
Right.
I know I've learned a lot about you.
I gotta leave him with a question.
And then we gotta do the goodbye. Remember?
I'm afraid of this goodbye. I don't know what kind of goodbye this is going to be, but the way you said that,
haven't watched it yet either, huh?
I haven't. I have no idea where to watch it. I've looked at the channels, don't see anything. So maybe
I'll pin a link to the playlist.
Yeah, maybe might be good to make it a little bit more obvious because I was scrolling through the channels and I had no idea where anything was.
Yeah, I'll work on that branding, and I still am not even stuck on the name really. But your question. We got to stop interrupting.
So my question. Can my question not be a question?
Yes.
I know I've been calling it a question, but I just want everybody who's listening to this to like, take a moment out of their day, just help somebody do something that they would never expect you to do. Because if you just make one person feel good for a day, that's a win. That's a good day for you. So just go out there and do something you wouldn't normally do for someone that you wouldn't normally do something for, that just helps them and doesn't help you in any kind of way.
Nothing to gain from it type deal.
Exactly.
Altruism.
Altruism, is that the word? Yeah.
Yeah.
True
Yeah.
altruism. Exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah.
We'll see. We'll see if anyone does that. So any last things to add there, Trace? Okay, I think I'm all meowed out. So, Scoot, you don't know the ending. So what we do is we just meow while I hit the end button. So get those meows going.
Meow.
Meow.
This is so
God, you sound
cringe.
like an impressed cat.
Hey man, it's great.
This is so cringe.
It's a new. You're so hateful.
There's no hate here, bro.
So cringe. I get everyone to do it, dude. Just do it, Scoot. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, do a real one. Come on.
Meow.